The following news story is strictly parody, satire, used to develop a background story for this Madden 23 franchise series. You will see real news stories used as reference, but this actual story is not true. Let's begin. Breaking news out of the NFL Commissioner's office. Roger Goodell, as well as the rest of the NFL owners group, has dealt a crushing blow to the Washington Commanders. For years, we have talked about the controversies surrounding this team and owner Dan Snyder. Today, a league-wide memo was sent out detailing what some are calling the death penalty. Here is a copy of that memo, but the most important part is the actions to take section, broken down into immediate and future. Immediately, forced sale of the team by Dan Snyder. The owners group has forced him out despite his earlier attempt this season to blackmail fellow owners. In addition, the Washington Commanders must release all staff with pay, as well as releasing all current players for immediate availability for pickup by any team in the NFL. As for their own roster, they must fill it with replacement players, meaning only players of 65 overall or lower. In the future, they must forfeit their next first-round pick. In terms of off-season moves, in the first one, they cannot sign any player 70 or higher overall. In the second off-season, no player could be signed of 80 overall or higher. Any overalls lower than those numbers are perfectly allowed. If no more scandals occur between now and that second offseason, all penalties will be cleared. If scandals do break, further penalties may be applied. A tough break for Washington Commanders fans who were finally seeing their team build something solid with some great guys around, especially with Ron Rivera at head coach. But now a new regime will be brought in. And rumors have it, Washington Sentinels replacement coach Jimmy McGinty will become the new owner of the Washington Commanders. When asked, he said there's only one man he trusts to lead his team, and that's Falco. So, with the new season beginning shortly, we'll see if Shane Falco can lead a new squad of replacement players like he did before. And there you have it. A harsh blow dealt to the Washington Commanders will be how we will start our next traditional franchise on this channel. Every single player that was on this roster to begin with has been released. It means there's also a good bit of a dead penalty cap, basically, from releasing a lot of really good players. And there were a lot of good players Washington Commanders had. They really were building something solid, needed some more pieces. We're maybe a year, maybe two away, depending on moves that they would make in this upcoming offseason, as to if they could really make a good push. They showed really good signs this season, but the NFL owner group, Roger Goodell, they had enough of all of Dan Snyder's controversies, to say the least. So, harsh blow has been dealt, basically the death penalty, clearing away this team. They have to rebuild, and it will be through Shane Falco. If you guys have not watched the Replacements movie, watch it. It's great. It has Keanu Reeves. I mean, what more could you want? So that is where this new traditional series starts, and I hope you guys now understand why I say traditional with the quotations, because it will be traditional in the aspect of we're going to be playing every single game. There's not going to be any simming, but it's untraditional in the aspect that this isn't real. No, Dan Snyder has not been kicked out of the NFL, and the Washington Commanders do not have to completely rebuild their player personnel, their players, everything. So that is where it's untraditional, but this should hopefully provide a really tough challenge on this channel, because up until the last Cardinals video, we hadn't lost a single playoff game on this channel once we got to the playoffs, with the state-only challenge being the only ones that didn't go to the playoffs every single season. So this should hopefully provide a much bigger challenge for us, and you can see we are a 60 overall on offense, 62 on defense, for a 60 overall as a team. And speaking of as a team, let's meet the team. And like was mentioned on the memo, no player could be signed who was a 65 or higher. They had to be a 65 or lower. So we have a good bit of some 65 overalls, just because there wasn't a whole lot of low overall players available at every position. Like running back, I think the lowest overall was a 63. So not all these are going to be super low, but everyone is a 65 or lower, including any boost to their stats, or their ratings, I guess you should say, from the coaching staff points. So at quarterback, we will have Cam Newton. He is dropped all the way down to a 64 overall at 33 years old. We also have Jack Cohn, who's a rookie, I believe. Yeah, rookie. And Jake Dolgala out of Connecticut State. I don't know if that's Central Connecticut State. I've honestly never heard of it. But those are our 3 available quarterbacks. At running back, we have a group of 4, and they all kind of each do their own thing. So Caleb Huntley is going to be more of our power back. Max Borghi is maybe how you pronounce that. He's more of a balanced kind of guy, can do a little bit of each of it, but he was basically brought in because he had the highest break tackle of available players for us to bring in. Raymond Calais, maybe that's how you pronounce it. He is going to be our speed back, fastest we have available to us. And Avery Williams is also a little bit more of a balanced kind of guy. We do not have a fullback, so I would expect that one of our running backs, Caleb Huntley, would probably take that role. At receiver, we have a lot of very similar overall players, all from I think 65 to 63, but Isaiah Zuber, Dylan Stoner, Tyree Cleveland, Desmond Patton, Cade Johnson, Seth Williams, and Maurice French are going to be in the rotation. We'll see who grabs a spot. I know I definitely want Dylan Stoner to be in the slot to begin with. He has the least amount of speed of our receivers, but he has some of the best route running. I'm also kind of biased because I played with him in high school. At tight end, Nick Muse will get the start, followed behind by Nikola Kalinic. Again, another name, don't quite know how to pronounce. Or Stone Smart. I'm thinking Smart might get the number 2 spot because he has a lot of speed and acceleration, and we're going to be running more of a spread offense. Offensive line will probably move around a little bit until we can find something that is semi-solid. At left tackle, we have Roderick Johnson. Left guards is Wes Martin and Chris Paul. Centers are Dawson Deaton and Nick Ford. On the right side, we have Deontay Brown at right guard, and right tackle, we have Yadni Kajust, I think another way how to pronounce that one, and Will Richardson Jr. On the defense, we're going to be playing the 3-3-5, just like we did with the Cardinals franchise. I think that is a perfect style defense for modern NFL. So for our fast edge rush, basically what would be an outside linebacker, we have Shakatoni, and we have William Bradley King. On the other side, the other edge, which would be more of a traditional right end, left end, we have Jason Strobridge, Raymond Johnson III, and Marquise Spencer. Our nose tackles / DTs are going to be Curtis Brooks, Carlos Davis, and Benito Jones. Probably Benito Jones. And then all of our linebackers are inside linebackers. So we have quite a few. We'll see who grabs a solid spot. James Burgess Jr. and Asmar Bilal, maybe? Again, some of these names I definitely don't know how to pronounce. They're going to be at the left outside linebacker spot. While in the middle, we have Marcus Allen, Tanner Muse, Jeremiah Gemmel, and V. Jones. Maybe one of those. And at right outside linebacker would be Jacoby Stevens and Milo Eifler. Cornerbacks will be Josh Blackwell, Tariq Castro Fields, and I think there's 2 players on this current roster that were originally on the Washington Commanders. They ended up getting re-signed when I went through all available players. I'm pretty sure Castro Fields was one of those. We also have Rashad Wildgoose, Kerry Vincent Jr., Josh Jobe, and Trill Williams. Free safeties will be James Wiggins and Joey Blount. Strong safeties, Nazee Johnson and Jared Maiden. Kicker will be Austin McGinnis, and punter will be Dom Maggio. We currently have, like I said, a first-round pick that will be given to one of the other teams in the league, and that'll just be by lottery with every player having, or every team having the same percentage of success. So I'll just choose a random team and they'll get the first round pick. We won't take anything from it somehow, way, shape, or form. I might just choose the lowest overall player on their roster for the first round pick and then cut that player. Might be the best way to do it. So in the first draft, we will only have our 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th round pick. no penalty will carry over to the next draft unless a scandal breaks out, which means good time to have a little pause here. You guys can put forth ideas for scandals, and if they're good, also, if you're putting forth an idea for a scandal, make sure there's also a penalty that comes with it. So something small, maybe a player was caught drinking and driving. Speaking of which, don't drink and drive. But they're arrested or something, pulled over for whatever reason, that player might have to be expelled from the roster, something like that. Or it could be even bigger, that there's some more coaching controversies and we end up having to, again, lottery away one of our next draft picks or something like that. So let me know what you guys think for future. Just again, trying to make sure that this series stays difficult. We do have our practice squad full as well, and some of these guys could end up on our actual roster. The roster is not solidified. If a player isn't playing well, we could always try to bring someone in who might be playing a little bit better, or could hopefully play a little bit better. So that is where we start here. Against Jacksonville, the Washington Commanders replacement team. Be our first look, and hopefully it's not too embarrassing. Well, now it's time to see how this team can actually play out on the field. So let's get this replacement series underway. McGinnis with the kick. At least we'll reach the end zone. And that's where they'll take the knees starting at the 25. So the defense will take the field first, and we'll see what they're really made of. Like I said, we're going to be running a 3-3-5, so very similar to what we were running in the Cardinals. Might end up changing the playbook a little bit, adding a 4-3 or some sort of base package. But the first play, not great. Big chunk given up there to Ingram deep downfield as they get to about midfield. And not too bad of a job up front. We'll get the stop after a rush of 5. And it'll just be a fun time getting to see who makes a name for themselves here, as most of these players you probably don't hear a lot in these franchises, as they're typically pretty low down in overall and they don't get to see much play time. I feel like that's just an added dimension of this challenge here, really, is just getting to play with guys you probably don't see on many other of these, and barely squeak out the first down. Tony was close to bringing him down prior to the first down, just couldn't quite drag him down in time. Muse down the middle, and there's a big hit. First tackle for a loss. Goes to a middle linebacker who's wearing a number 15. I don't know how I feel about that. An outside linebacker wearing 15, no problem. Middle linebacker seems a little strange. We'll drop to the 46. They go with another run down the middle. Broken tackle, and a good run there from Hasty. We'll get a forward for about a gain of 6, 3rd and 5. And we are playing on all Madden, just like all of my series besides the Sim ones. Those are all pro just because that's the way that Madden works best. And there's a completion deep downfield inside the red zone. Calvin Ridley barely gets his hand underneath that one to scoop it up, but it does get them a huge chunk. And they go with a run to the outside. ETN not getting anywhere. That is one thing this defense definitely has, and that is a lot of speed. We'll try to use that in our advantage as we try to contain some of these outside runs, stick with some receivers despite not having great coverage. ETN with another run to the outside. We'll shake the first guy, but not the second. And we'll have another 3rd and short. Tight shotgun look. Lawrence in the backfield will make a hot route, maybe an audible. Another run down the middle, and we had a guy there, just couldn't stay up on his feet. Be another conversion for the Jags. I will say, at least with this first look, the defense has done a good job of forcing them to get 2 3rd downs, but not there. Patience there from, why can I not remember his name? Lawrence. And he'll find Kirk in the end zone. They'll go up by 7 after their first drive. And one thing to note from that first drive there on defense is it's not the worst defense we've seen in the NFL with the Vikings this year. It looked very similar. So there is that. We'll start with a read option. Down the middle we'll go with Borghi for a gain of 3. And I feel like early on we might need to focus a little bit more on the run game or quick pass game, as most of our offensive linemen were definitely more pass or run blockers than they were pass blockers. But Dylan Stoner with a nice grab in tight coverage. He'll get 17. It was an accurate pass there from Newton. Crazy that he's dropped down to a 64. We'll set up the running back screen here, at least try to. Not going to go very far. The blocking didn't do a great job. The Jags cover team definitely did. And Cone will come out at quarterback for his first appearance. He's the rookie out of Notre Dame. Cam was a little slow to get up after the last play, and no one's really breaking open here. We'll chuck this one up for grabs, and honestly, it was fairly close. But the throwing ratings for Cone is actually very similar to that of Cam Newton. Just doesn't quite have the athleticism to help stretch the field as much. And not much here. We'll dump this one off. Borgie with the catch. 4th and 10. About midfield. Do we go for it? And why not? I mean, you know, we don't have the best team, so don't want to squander some opportunities. Come out empty set. Newton back out at quarterback. Give us a little bit of an option in case we want to end up running it, and Cleveland can't bring in the one-hand grab. And our first drive on offense ends with a turnover on downs. But honestly, not too awful for the offense. I mean, you saw some glimpses of some things we could do. Are we great at any of them? No, but at least we saw a path that we could take. Same as ETN just had, a path to gain 9 yards on the first down rush. Maybe about one more play here before the end of the first quarter. They go with another run and stuffed in the backfield, coming off that left-hand side. That was Stowbridge with the tackle, and will send us into the second quarter with still a close game, 7-0. Both teams have had at least one possession. The Jaguars obviously working on their second after the turnover on downs earlier. Going to come out with a 52 defense here to match as they come out with a heavy set, and ETN trucks through our free safety, and we'll get plenty of yards on the 3rd and short. But still though, this D-line, this is not awful. They're holding up fairly well. They're not getting bullied around too much. At least not getting driven completely off the line. Nice stop there from Allen. In the middle, only a gain of 2. And I do feel like the middle linebacker, inside linebacker group of this team, at least the defense, is the better part of it. I feel like they could grow the most out of any of the current groups. We'll see if that actually is true as the series moves along. Another 3rd and short here. They go the stretch to the outside. Wiggins is there, but gets juked out of his shoes. Whiff on another tackle. And ETN will put him up by 2 possessions after a really good run. Well, now down 2 possessions on offense. What can we do? We'll start in pistol. Newton out there. He'll hand this one off to Borgie, who'll get down the middle for a gain of only 2. Felt like it was going to be a little bit more, but we'll see how well this works in the pistol formation once again. 2 tight ends to that right-hand side. Going to go with a little rollout. Campbell find an open receiver. That's going to be Patman. We'll get a good chunk, about 20 yards to about midfield. Actually, 30 yards? 20 yards? 20 yards. Because we were at the 29, now up to the 49. So yeah, quick math. See if we could get Cleveland deep here. Maybe Muse underneath. We do have a one-on-one. Toss this one up. Cleveland not able to get it, but that's because Campbell, a little bit of a DPI. We'll definitely take that, and that'll be the biggest gain on offense. Down into the red zone for the first time. I'm going to go with this receiver screen. Get it out to Cleveland, try to find some blocks. All the way to the outside and couldn't quite get the edge, but a nice play there. Gets us inside the 5 for our first and goal. And I feel like I'm going to be a little cheeky here. We're going to go quarterback draw. Cam Newton down at the 4. Looks like they might be trying to bring a little bit of something, and Cam Newton couldn't get by the first group of defenders. So we'll come out with the full house look here. Have 2 running back options as well. Well, technically they're all running back options, except for Muse. He is the tight end. We'll go read option, though. Down the middle, Borgie will get tackled for a loss of 2. So on 3rd and goal. 2 receivers to the left and 1 to the right. We're just going to run some simple slants. Try to break things down to the easiest possible, and not a great option there. But we'll send out McGinnis to at least get some points on the board here. Try to get a little bit of momentum in our favor. And our first points of this series go to our kicker. Now we'll just need to see if our defense can get their first stop, just in general. Allow us to get the ball back with a little bit of time, and if our slot corner, actually the receiver's still going, so let's secure the tackle first. Good pursuit there from 15. And now I can't even remember what I was saying prior to that, but that was Muse with the pursuit to at least get back there, get the stop. Oh yeah, it was the nickel or slot corner. If he got his head up, he might have been able to get a hand on that previous pass, but clearly didn't. So 2nd and 7, already crossed midfield here. Coming out with a tight shotgun look. They ran this a couple times. Pass all the way out to the outside, and we got burned in man-on-man coverage, and ETN is in for at least his 2nd touchdown, maybe his 3rd. Well, we could definitely use with getting a touchdown before halftime. Currently a 21-3 game. We're desperately looking for some points here. Newton gonna need to scramble. Had Patton if he just kept moving. Instead, we'll go with Cleveland with the catch. Nice gain to the 48. Try to go with a little hurry up here, actually. Don't want to waste too much time. Drop that safety back, so now they have 2 over the top. We'll have a receiver going across, and not gonna find him was Stoner. Cam Newton just ended up leading him a little bit too much. This team hasn't been together for very long, so still working on finding that connection. So we go with a read option down the middle. Borgie with a nice run. Be a gain of 8 as we hit the 2-minute warning. And I'm going to set up an RPO screen pass here. Maybe get Cleveland on the outside. Depends on how these corners react. And not great, but not awful either. 4th and inches. We're definitely going for it. So we'll come out in our goal line. And at fullback is the backup tight end. He'll take the handoff, and he'll definitely get us the 1st down. So, options for a tight end, or options for a touchdown still on the board. With a lot of thanks to our tight end. Come out empty set here. Going to set up that receiver screen once again. They play a little bit of some off zone, some soft zone, I guess would be a better term to use. So that helps us out. We'll get at least 3. Come out still with a empty set here, and we have a receiver across the middle. That's going to be Stoner with the grab and inside the red zone. Let's call a first timeout here. Well, we've seen some inaccuracy from Newton. He's been on the run quite a lot today, and his passes have still been fairly accurate. So we'll see if that will continue, as he should have handed off that read option. He didn't, and Allen's there to clean it up in the backfield. Loss of 6. And they will bring down the safety on this left-hand side. We're going to set up another read option here, potential for the swing pass. They bring that safety down. We'll toss it to the outside, but no block at all from our receiver out there. We'll call our 2nd timeout. So with 20 seconds left, 1st down we would have to get to about the 2-yard line, with it being 3rd and 17. We have our tight end open. Passes a little bit too far to the outside. We'll call another timeout here. 14 seconds left. And I would love to go for it here. But they do also come out with a very much empty look across the middle. Only 1 DT. We're going to set up the jet sweep, but instead, kind of want to go with a Cam Newton run down the middle. Step up, try to find some room, and into the end zone. The veteran, most veteran of the team, Cam Newton, scores the 1st touchdown of the series and puts on a little jig. And that little jig will send us into halftime with not an awful deficit, only 11 points, 21-10. We've given up a lot of yards very consistently on defense, but the offense has been able to maintain some decent drives. Let's take a look around the league where there's not other replacements. 14-3. Eagles currently up against the Lions. And heading a little south from there, Cleveland Browns taking on the Panthers, 21-7. So technically we're having a better game so far than the Panthers, with Darnold getting the start and already has an interception. A little bit more south of there, just going basically down a straight line. 13-10, Falcons up on the Saints. But that'll wrap up the halftime report, and we can jump back into this game. And what another thing that was really good about that score before half is that carries some momentum as we will start second half with possession. Williams with the return will try to get back to at least a normal starting spot. A little shy, we'll start at the 24. And Newton, who has the only touchdown for us so far, he'll go under center, bunch to that right-hand side. We'll go with a run to the left. Borgie with some space to the outside. Biggest rush so far. And I told you at the beginning, the offensive line is much better at run blocking than pass blocking. Unfortunately, we went down 3 possessions pretty early, so we had to pass a little bit. That got us back in it a bit, so expect a little bit more running when we can. Roll out here, wait for something to open up, nothing does. Cam Newton will step up and fumble. Did not slide down, scooped up by Hamilton. And the Jaguars will take over. We've seen fumbles be an issue for him in the past. Hopefully he could clean that up for at least one last season. They go the run down the middle. ETN with a really good cut there, just sent me flying. Give Ford for another gain of 4. He's been solid for him today. We haven't done much in stopping the run, or really the pass game either. There will be a pass here. Long developed play. They go underneath with Ingram. We'll get him another first down. Not a single incompletion for Lawrence yet today, as they'll come out with a bunch to the right. Shotgun set, trying to bring a bit of pressure. No one gets close. And a simple pitch and catch on a deep end to Ridley. Defense definitely has a little bit of learning to do, figuring out if we're going to be more of a zone or man cover team. I would imagine right now zone would probably be the best as we try to learn who's who really on this team and who does what the best. But we do get a really nice stop in the middle on that run, only a gain of about half a yard. They'll go with a pass, and there's our first sack off the edge is Shaka? Something Tony. I think it's Shaka Tony, if I'm remembering correctly. Basically playing that same role that Gardick played for us in the Cardinals franchise. Where just use that speed to get around the edge. They go underneath. ETN will get forward about 10-ish yards, about 9 yards. We'll set up a field goal attempt. And this is the best the defense has done so far. Every other drive, besides the one before half where they only had, I think, 1 play and then time expired. Best drive they've done so far. Only allowed a field goal, which is good, to make it 24-10. Well, now down 2 touchdowns. That would be just a tie. Let's make an audible here. Gonna fake the jet sweep, go the run to this right-hand side with Borgie, who's done pretty well, but that right side of the line just got crunched down. So we'll go back to spread and maybe see if we can get Stoner down the sideline, have a couple underneath routes as well. We do have Stoner, but that pass about 10 yards, way too far downfield. Really seeing some inconsistent play from Newton, but that's about what we expect from him. So in a way, it's consistent. Gonna have to step up here, roll to the left-hand side, try to hopefully wait for something. Nothing does. Eventually, Allen will catch it. Not Allen, actually. Is that Walker? I think it's Walker. He'll catch up to us, and we'll have to punt from here. And Maggio boots it about as far as he can. They'll start around the 41 after a short return. Go back to the run game. They've done it pretty well so far, but a nice stuff there. Only a gain of 1. Burgess on the tackle. They'll set up a 2nd and 9. Trips to the left. They go with another run. Etienne has space to that right-hand side and will get forward for about a gain of 5. They actually mark a gain of 6. So another 3rd and short. The defense at least has done a great job today of forcing these 3rd and shorts. They just haven't been able to get the stop when it's gotten to these downs. And leaving a guy wide open is not going to help, especially getting spun out. Well, not even close to him. Not a great job tackling there from Blackwell. First down, though, down to the 32. And now a heavy look. 3 tight ends to the left-hand side here for the Jags. I would expect a stretch, and that's exactly what it is. Really good job blocking from the tight ends. Sealed it. And somehow, not a first down. Instead, 2nd and inches. Can try to bring down the safety here, provide a little bit more suppressed coverage. They go the run. ETN trying to get around the blocks, and that's a really good job from Brooks. Gives up the first down, but in the grand scheme of things, that was a really nice play. Still waiting to see one of the interior D linemen take charge. I've seen some good plays so far from Brooks, so he might be our #1 guy on the interior.
as they will go with a dump off, a late release to Hasty, gain of 6. So on 2nd and 4, they'll come out, 2 tight ends to that right-hand side, 2 receivers off to the left. But we won't get a snap, because that's the end of the 3rd quarter. We'll head into the 4th quarter. It's a 2-touchdown game for us right now, just a tie, and it's looking like that might extend to more. And they'll change things up a little bit. Ace formation this time. Etienne the lone back. Will be a handoff to that right-hand side, and really good blocking will spring him for another first. Allen eventually brings him down, but he's just had a really solid game. Almost to 100, needs 6 more yards on 20 carries. And on top of that, I think he also has a pretty decent chunk in the passing game. I know he has at least 1 receiving touchdown, so he's definitely put in the work throughout this game. Lawrence down towards the end zone, have a couple different options to go Etienne, and he'll get down to the 5. If there's any chance of making this a game, really going to need a turnover here. Lawrence, 2 receivers either side. They go with the draw down the middle. Jones will get the stop. And will technically be another 3rd and short with 3rd and goal at the 3. They'll make a slight change here. Maybe we should as well. Didn't have time to, though. Tony couldn't get around the edge. And Ridley, alone in the back of the end zone, will widen the gap back to 21. Well, we have a little over 6 minutes, and we need 3 touchdowns. So far today, we've managed 10 points, so not sure how that's really going to go. Cam Newton, once again, doesn't have much open. I'll have to roll out and end up throwing this one away. That's going to be sometimes a problem with these lower overall receivers, is that getting separation sometimes really doesn't happen. We'll go with the receiver screen this time. We'll get forward for a short gain of 4. On 3rd and 6, they have man up across the board, but we're going to send one of our other running backs in motion from the slot. He'll take the jet sweep. Have to cut up, but a great job there by Trayvon Walker. 4th and 4. You know we're going for it at this point. Cone out there instead of Newton. We'll dump this one off to the outside. Muse with the catch. We'll stretch forward and get out of bounds. 1st down conversion. And now Newton is back out there, so I guess just needed a short breather. Have a couple deep routes. 1 short route. Gonna need to try to step up, avoid the pressure, but then picked up and slammed down by Trayvon Walker. Disrespectful. So we'll see Cone come back out after that. Cam Newton's gonna get his back checked out, because that looked like that hurt. Have an open receiver to the outside. That's going to be the running back out of the backfield. Stays in bounds. We'll keep trying to get as many yards as possible. We'll make this a much more manageable 3rd down. Plus, he also stops the clock by getting out of bounds. So 3rd and 4. 4 minutes, 10 seconds left in the game. Toss to the outside, and Muse not able to keep that separation. So now we'll have that 4th and 4. A little over 4 minutes left. Go back to the slant routes. Get Stoner to that left-hand side. Not able to keep a hold of it. Knocked away by the DB. And there's another turnover on downs at midfield. Wasn't a bad choice there from Cam. I mean, he was the most open of any of the receivers, at least that I had seen. Etienne with a run to the outside. Nice stop again by Tony. He's done pretty solid at that kind of hybrid edge roll. 2nd and 11, they'll drop under center, stay in a tight formation, and just ignore anything I just said, because they will make an audible. Go with a spread look to the outside, and that one could have been picked off, but Jones with the catch. So 3rd and 8, they come out empty set, trips to the left, twins to the right. Lawrence in the backfield and shotgun, have all the time, and knocked out by Wiggins at safety. That's the first stop by this defense, so of course we're going to watch the punt. It's the first punt forced. Cook back there will boot it away. Looks like that's headed straight out of bounds. Well, with about 3 minutes left, we would have to average a touchdown a minute right now to get this thing back tied up. How about Borghi once again? Actually, not Borghi. That was Muse. Tight end with a wide open space down the middle. Hit some hurry-up offense here. Borghi's actually way out of the right-hand side. See if maybe he has the speed. 1-on-1, not really, and Cam Newton will barely get that one off in time. Well, now's really the time to get this ball downfield, and the quarterback with the best arm on the team is our third stream in Dolgala. So we'll see what he can do here. Again, we got to chuck this thing deep downfield, and he can do that, tossing it up for Patman, who can't get there. Now, Dolgala is very much just a pocket passer, so don't expect him to be scrambling around very much. We're going to bring in the running back in motion. He'll sit behind these receivers on the left-hand side as a bit of a safety option here for us, and that's where we're going to go. Just to see what we could get. Williams will actually not too bad. Gain of 7. We'll hit a little bit of some hurry up here. Try to conserve a little bit of time. 4th and 3, we need the conversion, and one of our receivers ran backwards at the snap. But luckily, Muse didn't. He'll get us the first down and out of bounds at the 41. About 2 minutes left. But we'll get out of bounds, so we'll stop it prior to maybe about 1, max 2 more plays before the 2-minute warning. Cam Newton checks back in. Nothing really opening up at all. Have to throw this one away. We will have 1 more play at least before the 2-minute warning. Let's go with a little bit of some rollout. See if maybe Kalinick can get deep-ish. We'll snap the ball. Have some semi-decent blocking. We'll hit Patman across the middle. Get the catch. First down, out of bounds, 2-minute warning. At this point, really just playing for pride. Doubt there's much of a chance we're going to get anything serious going here, but I would like to get some connections going with these receivers. How about Stoner wide open to the outside? Caught, turns up, gets 1 tackle broken, not the second mark, just shy. We'll stay out that same formation, go with the slants, but a quick change, hot route. Stoner is going to go on the zig to the outside. Should be wide open. Nice placement from Cam, and there is a touchdown. How to get him in the end zone at the end of this first episode. Stoner gets us on the board. 31-17 after a nice pass here from Cam on the zig route. The other slant took away the other corner. It's a good draw. And why not? Let's try an onside kick here. I don't feel like I've really ever gotten one of these to work in Madden, so let's try it here, and that one comes up well short. So we're definitely not recovering it. But if there was any chance of us trying to come back in this game, we needed that onside. So we'll run down the middle. There's Belial, I think is how you pronounce it. He'll stuff ETN for one of the few tackles for a loss we've had today. I want to say maybe 4 or 5 in total, which isn't bad for the overall of this defense being a 62. And there's a read option. Lawrence will get it. Maybe a yard, maybe just back to the line of scrimmage. We'll end up calling one of our timeouts to force them to hopefully give us the ball back. If we get the stop here on 3rd and 11. Go the run down the middle. Really good blocking. He'll cut back towards the middle and won't get much else. We'll call that second timeout. Well, we still have that one last timeout. 54 seconds left, so let's try to get one more score on the board here. Quick pass to the outside with a nice pass to Patton. Trying to stretch down the field, does not have the speed. We'll hit back straight into that hurry up. Nice pass there from Dolgala. Pretty accurate pass as well. Got 1-on-1, but how about the tight end? Not a great pass, and that might be intercepted. No, doesn't get the second foot down. Really unfortunate. We had Muse open across the middle, just the pass not very accurate. Cam Newton checks back in. Toss this thing up 1-on-1, comes up well short, and another not intercepted pass that should have been by the safety, number 5. Should have had 2. Maybe see if we could get Zuber over on the right-hand side here. In a 1-on-1 situation, beats the defender to the back end zone. No, can't hold on to it. Campbell knocks it free. Well, we at least need a first down. 4th and 10 here. How about a quick out to the outside, get down, call a timeout, last one? All right, 3 seconds left. We have one more play. And for the last play of game 1 of this replacement series, see if we can find someone. Tight end across the middle, overthrown, knocked down, and that will do it. We'll drop game 1 to the Jaguars, 31-17. And overall, it really wasn't too awful of a game. We need to work more on getting the run game consistently going. passing game wasn't awful. Again, considering the talent on this team, I don't feel like they played that bad of a game. Definitely some areas we need to improve. But overall, like I said, really not a bad game to end week 1 of the Washington Commanders replacement series. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to call this for the sake of YouTube searching, but not bad. Let me know what you guys think as well. Do you think this is a fun idea for a series, having it be a replacement series basically, where we're going to see a lot of different players than what you're going to see in a lot of other franchises? Maybe it would be similar to starting off with, was it the Mutt series, Madden Ultimate Team? Maybe some of these players might be good over there. I'm not quite sure. Honestly, I'm not much of a Mutt player myself, so I'm a franchise guy. I like building teams, and this is a great opportunity to build a team that will mostly be just my universe kind of players. So definitely let me know what you think. Also, let me know who you thought was the best player out on that field. And if there's another player who's a low overall that you think should be added to the team, you could always let me know down in the comments section below. Like I said, this roster is not set. We'll probably see a pretty hefty rotation if we're not seeing good play from certain positions. So this series will be taking over the traditional days, being Monday and Thursday. The state-only challenges will be on Wednesday and Saturday still. And make sure you don't miss out on this week's state-only challenge videos because they are big ones. Remember, down below you can comment scandals that might pop up with their penalties, equivalent penalties to them. So if we start playing really well and you don't think we should be, penalties can fix that. I want to make sure you guys are involved in this franchise, so don't be shy. Comment down below. And until next time, we'll see you guys later. Bye.